Listen, for the old boyfriend, if you're watching, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to go ahead and sort of steal your girl.
He's gonna come fight for me right now. By the way, just so you know, I'm in Bulgaria. If you want to find me, I'll send you a GPS.
but if you take her, you gotta take the kids too. It's a package deal.
In 2014, we sold all of our possessions,
Quit our jobs, and set off as a family for a one-year adventure in Costa Rica.
The 1 year was not enough.
so we rolled up our sleeves and figured out how to make this journey continue.
We are WorldTowning.
Join our family,
Largo,
Jessica,
Avalon,
And Will, as we travel the world
to connect deeply to local cultures, go on epic adventures,
and grow closer as a family.
One cappuccino, please. Thank you. Your nails look really nice. Oh my gosh, it's raining. Again, imagine that. We're back in Europe. Good morning, beautiful family. Teenagers, beware. Look at, we come back, we have teenagers, they're happy,
I'm not a teenager, I'm a tween.
Oh, great. A tween. We've got a tween. Welcome to Bulgaria, where we found sun.
And we found
For 5 minutes.
a coffee shop at a gas station. We're
onto something.
We definitely figured out something that, okay, we've always been told that gas stations and like all these rest stops on the middle of the highway are like bad news.
No, we still don't stay at them, but we found an alternative that's similar but not the same.
Like the mom and pop gas stations that open 24 hours.
The ones off the freeway on a little side road.
Where there's always someone there watching, curious, saying, who's my next customer? They will actually watch over you while you sleep there.
Hot coffee in the morning, not too expensive. A bathroom, so you're not filling up your cassette. And if you top off with gas or even fill up your tank, usually they will let you fill up your water as well.
I'm not suggesting everyone out there use them as campgrounds because we don't want to spoil our secret. However, for us, it's been working like a charm.
Don't tell anyone.
All right, so that being said, we're in Bulgaria. We're very excited. We have some things planned for you today, for us today.
We are going to, I guess it would be called, there's probably a proper name, but a rose farm. We're going to learn how to make rose oil, rose water, all kinds of interesting things. And then we're going to go listen to some traditional music. And I think there's some dancing involved tonight and eat some local food. But in the meantime, we have something special for you guys.
There's been a lot of questions, and we haven't really shared this story ever.
About how I used to be a man.
About how we met, and basically our story, our love story, our passion story, how we became travelers. Well, let's just start with how we met. How about that?
And it actually does start. It has a starting based in travel. So I guess it's only fitting that we ended up here. So we're going to sprinkle our story throughout the day. For all of you who have been asking us, and we said we would tell you, we're finally going to tell you. And I like to think that, this is going to sound really corny, but it was fate, because we were both someplace we were not supposed to be. I'm just going to give you that for right now.
With each other.
Let's go learn about roses.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine.
Welcome to my new house. Not really.
So this is the oldest rose oil production facility in all of Bulgaria. It's been around since 1911, and they have been like the kings of all of Bulgarian rose oil.
And they've gone through a lot because it started out as a family-run organization and then was taken over by communism for 40
years.
40 years.
Well, then it was like shut down, made into a museum.
And then it was given back to the family when the fall of communism. So there's so much history here. You just feel full of energy and richness. The buildings are beautiful, the birds are singing, it's green, it's vibrant. Where are we going now?
We're gonna go check out the original production factory, the distilleries, which are actually still used today from like back in 1911.
The process is similar like the distillation method for obtaining rose oil.
I know nothing about rose water or rose oil.
Every drop is very precious.
But what do you use rose water for? You don't drink it, right?
You can even drink it.
You can drink it, but is it used? What is it used for? Perfume?
It's an excellent skin toner.
Okay.
The rose water, which prevents the skin dryness.
Okay.
And gives fresh and soft look of the face and the body.
Okay.
But you can even drink it. You can use it for cooking too.
How about the oil? What's the oil for? Is that for the skin also?
No, the oil is very concentrated. Before use, it must be diluted.
Okay.
For example, 1 drop of rose oil in your face cream.
Uh-huh.
After that, to mix it, the effect is remarkable. Rose oil is a key ingredient in every famous trademark of perfume for long-lasting scent. Also, it has a very strong hormonal effect on the woman especially.
Really?
Not by accident, it's called the balsam of love.
So what do you mean?
Really.
She gets more happy with it, or
Yes,
it
and
attracts the man?
Stimulating,
How much can I
exciting.
buy? So these are the main production fats right here, and these machines, it's like a double distillery process, and 500 kilos of rose petals go into this with 2,000 kilos of water, and the steam happens, the distillation happens, and it produces rose oil. Now, the interesting thing is this: 1 kilo of rose oil, meaning like 2.2 pounds, goes for about 13,000 euros. So this is very precious commodity right here. To quantify that even more, about 3 million rose petals. 3 million rose petals goes into making a kilo of rose oil. So if you're looking at a little container of rose oil, imagine all the rose petals goes into even a little dab.
It's cool. Your distillery, as I mentioned, built this year. It turns 110 years.
So these are the original distilleries. They brought them back to life and fixed them up, and they're still using them today. This is where their best stuff is produced. And what I thought was really interesting so far in the tour is that he said 95% of what they produce is exported all over the world. And they have 3 different kinds of roses that they have throughout the area. So this place is massive, and they're just churning it out, but they're really, really committed to producing quality rose water and rose oil. So it survived?
Yes, absolutely.
It survived communism?
It will. Yes, it was a museum.
Okay.
You can see the original copper tanks in the original copper coolers. They're preserved from the old days. Here we do only the best rose water in the world.
We're now being taken to the mothership, to the store, to the museum, where we're gonna look at different rose oils and try it, and who knows what. We may buy some. I don't think we have 13,000 euros, but I think they sell it in smaller batches.
Mom, it smells like a Turkish delight.
Really?
Oh, you're gonna smell pretty.
Rose water. That's nice. It's very mild.
So it's completely frozen.
But if you just heat it up for a little bit, it will liquefy. But here is.
So they normally store rose oil like frozen because it has a very high freezing temperature, meaning like around like 50 degrees or something like that. It freezes. Avalon is trying to rub it together using her Girl Scout skills.
And that's how you tell the real stuff from the frauds.
How's it going?
Working. I almost.
So it is real because it's becoming liquid. Look at that.
It does smell very rosy.
It's like a tiny test tube.
Now we are on the cusp of harvest season. We're only missing it by like a month.
They said basically if we were here like 3 weeks from now, we would see all the roses come into bloom, and we would see what it was actually like in full production mode.
And he said that we could park the RV right here and we could actually harvest for the day. Now, they pick them by hand. So they pick the rose petals off by hand. And the average, it equals about, to the fastest pickers make about 25 euros a day. And I would absolutely love to have this experience with the kids, but we can't stay here for another month.
They're picking like 45 kilos of roses a day, which my back wouldn't last that long.
Will and I would have a problem, but the kids would do great. No, but how cool was that he said that, I don't know if it's still today, but he said back in the day that this was like an honor to do this job, and it was kind of also like a very social activity as well as a very sensual and kind of mating activity, that the women who were single would put a rose behind their ear and they could possibly meet a man out there. And then
kind of like how when you and I met.
Oh, you want to go back into the story of how we met? All right.
Okay.
All right. Where were we on the story of how we met?
We basically were just introducing the topic.
All right. So we're going to give you a little bit of information right now. Will and I met in California. Where to be exact?
In San Diego.
Was it San Diego?
It was at a trade show. So I was working for a cruise line in the travel industry, clearly, and Jessica was working for a company that put on travel trade shows. In other words, like travel agents go to a convention hall, they can go and look at all the different reps from airlines and cruise lines. Well, I was an exhibitor.
He worked for a cruise line.
And she worked for the people that put on the trade show.
And part of the deal was, I was young, and part of the deal was that I was a graphic designer for the company, and they said, if you're gonna work for this company as a graphic designer, you have to travel to our trade shows and just kind of help people out. They have questions about setting up their booths and stuff like that. And I said, of course, who wouldn't want to travel? Free drinks, free hotel, travel with a bunch of fun women. So basically what happened was, to be continued.
And as we're leaving the Rose Oil production facility, we were greeted by some interesting guests. Someone wanted to tour the RV. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. I think the donkey's saying, I want that apple. Please don't eat me, 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 please don't eat me. Oh my gosh.
It's like, I got it. See you later, lady.
We're getting gas here. It's 2:13. Where are we?
Bulgaria.
Bulgarian. And we basically filled up, we got ourselves 23 liters.
Okay, he can talk about gas.
No. Okay, well, go ahead. Tell the story. Okay. So essentially, when we were out there doing our thing, our work thing in San Diego.
It was fate. I mean, some would say it was fate. Some would say planets aligning. Some would just say... We weren't
supposed to be there.
We weren't. Neither one of us were supposed to be traveling that week. Someone at my company got fired.
And someone on my side quit. And we each had to backfill each other's spots.
Yeah, and the company just said, hey, do you want to... I was already living in California. Do you want to do the Southern California... My main accent just came out. California. Route for the next week. Can you go? And of course, I was like a young single girl. I'm like, oh, can I go? Of course I can go. Free hotel.
And they told me, do you want to go to San Diego because, well, someone quit? And I said, my first time in California?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, I guess at the trade show, you know, our job is to get the exhibitors situated and everything they needed. And he was super kind and charming and sweet. And
I was doing my job.
He was doing his job. You know what I realized?
That I'm just a kind and sweet person?
No. I had all the free drink tickets. So every time
he had a few.
He was coming to me, not the other workers, and like, hey, how you doing? You know, what's up? And yo, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Exactly.
And, you know, I felt hook, line, and sinker for that. Oh, by the way, do you have
Rico Suave's outfit?
Cuatro drink tickets? And
I was not saying it in Spanish. You did not understand Spanish.
He was not saying it in Spanish.
You still don't understand Spanish.
I do. All right, so you were smooth.
And so basically we had this whole thing where I had to go to San Diego, Anaheim, LA, and we had this whole like week planned out because there were several shows in this trade show circuit.
Yeah, you basically went on a week circuit in an area. And we spent every evening together after the trade show.
Just chatting.
There might have been some alcohol involved.
But that's okay. We were just getting to know each other because I thought you were really groovy. And you thought that I was pretty awesome.
I was totally smitten with him. I'm be honest. I was like, he is fun and interesting and cute. And of course, I had a posse of girls traveling me. They were like, oh, you can seriously get he's so cute. And I was like, yeah, he is cute.
But essentially, that week was only a week.
But then.
And then we went back to our separate lives.
But then, ...
I said...
It gets a little hairy. We'll just cut right here.
All right.
Just wanna dance, want a simple romance, nothing more, nothing less from you. Just stay the night, then we leave when it's like nothing wrong, it's alright with you. No ties, no price, no need.
So we basically have 24, maybe 36.
About 36 hours.
Hours to basically fast track and see Bulgaria. So
from the upper tip of Turkey, and we went all the way up to the Black Sea, and then we just jetted across, and now we're
from east to west. So basically,
we're by Sofia now.
A lot of car time.
Bulgaria is roughly the size of Tennessee, about 42,000 square miles. If you're not from the US, look it up. Bulgaria has been outside of communism since 1990, around there. And it's in total rebuilding mode. If you look around, you drive, you'd never notice that this was a country that's part of the Eastern Bloc. There are more Porsches that I've seen in this country than anywhere else, and the highway systems are amazing.
So where we left you in our romantic courtship, I guess. So after our week in the trade show, we were smitten, or I thought we were smitten, and Will said, I'll call you by Tuesday. That was 4 days later. Now ladies, chime in here, and men too. 4 days turned into 4 months. So let's give Will a minute, an opportunity to defend himself.
I had a life. I tried to call once. I thought that there was nothing really there that we were going ahead and we're trying to cultivate. I just thought it would be cool to converse and chat it up.
You're not telling him what other thing that you had besides a life.
I didn't really have a girlfriend, but after I saw you that first time, I met someone. And it wasn't really the best relationship, but it was something.
So what he's saying is he didn't have the girlfriend when he actually met me.
I did not, no.
So 4 months later, it conveniently happens to be like a couple days before our group is supposed to be in Florida, where he's living for another week of trade shows.
She was going there for work again.
And he was going to be there for work again. Isn't that funny how he called me? It sounds very suspicious.
Essentially, I heard that, hey, you going to be in town? It'd be cool to hang out and chat again. Because that's all it was.
He didn't really say that to me like, hey, because I wouldn't get on the phone with him. He called my office and I was like, no way. This dude's a player. I don't have time. I'm not wasting my youth. But these ladies at the company and
they realized that, you know what, I'm not a player. I just go ahead. I just wanted to chill out with you guys. We had such a good time. We were in LA.
They tricked me on the phone saying it was a client, and I got on the phone and it was him. And then, well, you want to finish the story about that week?
Essentially, we did meet up again, and her parents had a timeshare right by where we were actually going to work together. And they said, come on over and hang out and meet the parents. And I just thought, okay, cool. I'm going to meet, parental units. And they said, well, why don't you stay the night? And
they put us in the
something amazing.
Bedroom.
When I met you the first time, I did not have a girlfriend.
And I was a single lady.
And you were a single lady, and I was a single guy.
Kinda.
When I met you the second time, I was a single guy. And her, not so much. No.
Do we cliffhang them here and wrap it up later? Let's cliffhang
the final chapter?
Yeah, the final chapter of what happened after that. Because obviously it worked out, but there were some crazy things we did in the process.
But basically, we also have to make our reservation. We have dinner plans tonight.
When you hold me, I rather lost my senses than be lonely. 'Cause baby, when you touch me, I feel holy. Oh, nothing in the
All right, wow, this is what happens when you don't shower for like 2 weeks. Wow, this is so bad. I don't know what I've got going on here. We're now heading into the final stage of our Sofia, Bulgaria experience, and I'm like more looking at this than at this.
Orange.
I know.
This already feels and smells good.
Tonight's dinner is being brought to you by the ultimate in a Bulgarian dancing and food that you want to imagine.
And some singing, I think.
Yeah, that too.
Hi. Are those beans?
Beans, this eggplant with the peppers, little bit tomato, garlic.
The secret to eating the best food when you come to a restaurant in a country where you don't know the food, ask the waiter. They always give the best recommendations, and it's not always the most expensive thing on the menu. So our appetizer came. Look at this, guys. He's like, it's just gonna be a little appetizer. It's massive. This is tomato and eggplant, and some peppers. We have some white beans over here, and these three was a little vague on what exactly was in them. Pork knuckle with potatoes and cheese and mushroom. It was the waiter's recommendations. And then he brought us some house bread, and we're supposed to split it up amongst the family, so breaking bread together.
How's that pork knuckle?
That's good.
Good morning from our RV. We've rested.
We were too tired last night to tell the rest of the story. We want to make sure we got it correct, right?
Well, the crazy part about last night is that during the whole firewalking thing, someone picked up Avalon and actually,
took her across the fire.
Like walked her like to the point that she could actually reach down and touch the coals.
Well, I mean, it was a professional. It wasn't just some random person in the audience that picked her up. I didn't even see it. It was so dark and I wasn't beside her.
I was very surprised that person could carry me.
Was that a cool experience?
Yeah, it was really cool.
That was very neat.
That was our traditional Bulgarian experience at what seemed to be a very traditional yet filled with a lot of tourist restaurants. But long story short, let's get back to going to our love story.
So where were we in the story? We were smitten with each other after that week in Florida.
And essentially what we did was we continued our long distance romance because she was in California and I was in Florida.
And we continued it obviously because we're still together, but I was young or young-ish, and he had a bit of a history of not being super into me.
So she put LoJack on me.
So at the time, I had left the company that I met Will at, and I got an amazing, amazing teaching job where I was actually, I'll digress here for a minute, going into the inner cities with the youth and teaching them my craft or my trade, which is graphic design. It was a job I loved, it was great hours, and I was making a lot of money. So I didn't want to leave it. We knew we liked each other, but then I was able to take the summer off from teaching because I said, guys, I'm a young girl. This guy's a bit of a player.
Why do you keep going for that? Why do you keep going there?
Okay. Maybe you weren't a player. You were
I was just me. All right. So
anyway, wait.
So basically,
okay, tell what I did then.
So she moved to Orlando, where I was living at the time, and we spent
the summer.
Like 6 weeks together, 7 weeks together.
And all of my friends and family are like, you're crazy. You're just gonna get up and go live with a guy you barely know in Florida for the summer. And I was like, yeah,
we're a great role model for our kids.
Yeah, kids don't do this.
I know. But at the end of that summer, we basically realized that this was not just a thing.
And I didn't want to leave my job because I really liked it and I wanted to save some money. And he had gone back to school. So we just kind of said, well, this is the way it's got to be. So we did long distance for the first 2 years of our relationship. And it worked out. We didn't know any different.
It worked out really well because I had a gazillion freaking flyer miles for my old job.
And I did too. So we saw each other almost every month.
Every month until we decided that it was time to actually do something a little more drastic, which was actually what most people do. We actually decided to live in together.
So we moved to
a neutral territory, which is New York City.
New York City. And that is a whole other story for another day.
But that is our love story. That's how we got together. We've been together every single day ever since. Just about. I know. Just about. Okay, I love you.
I love you too.
Wait, you already told the part where he didn't call you or text you?
Yes,
you missed that.
I know. Okay,
you'll have to watch it in the
we're taking off.
vlog.
If you want to watch what she just talked about, rewind. Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you so much for watching our vlog, and don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends, and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
In the next episode of WorldTowning, we enter Kosovo and experience the place alive with optimism in a country that fought all odds to exist.
Today we are in Pristina, Kosovo, and we are going to take you on an amazing, walking, historical, optimistic tour. This city is full of energy. It is a newborn city.
Hit the subscribe button and the notifications icon to ensure that you get all of our future episodes the moment they're released. It is Easter morning, 2019, and we are now realizing that the Easter Bunny does make visits to Bulgaria.
What is this? And look at these fabulous Easter baskets.